everybody, and welcome to another episode of Over the Curb podcast, a Formula One podcast for fans old and new, by Formula One fans old and new. Today, I am joined by only Honey Badger, sadly, so there will not be any Mick Schumacher hatred. Hey, hey, Honey Badger.
Well, that was unnecessary, but anyway.
No, but the one weekend where I would have been like, yeah, you know what, he deserved it. It was such a bad weekend for him. But
Also, I'm happy that at least one of us escaped watching this.
yeah, I'm also happy. Yeah.
Shakuni missed nothing.
Shakuni did not miss anything. In fact, Shakuni's weekend did not get ruined because he could not watch anything on the race weekend.
Yeah.
I
He
am
watched
so
qualifying,
jealous. No, he did not. I don't think.
Lucky.
Yeah. I have never been jealous of somebody who's not been able to watch a race.
Boring weekend, boring qualifying, boring sprint, boring race.
Boring F2 race. Boring F2 sprint. Like
Uh,
this was my first time watching F2, like properly watching F2. I picked the worst weekend to lose my F2 virginity.
Okay, while F2 was going on, was there rain?
Today, no. Even yesterday, no. Yesterday was a dry session, right? Yeah. No.
Okay, then DRS and all is fine, right? DRS was enabled.
Yeah, DRS was enabled, but it was just, there was just trains forming. There is only one DRS detection point. There is only one DRS zone. That track is not good for overtakes.
We realized lately.
All right. So, guys, this is going to be a rant, just in general, a rant of how useless this entire weekend was. Okay, let's get started.
I must say, even with the wet conditions.
Yeah, this is the first time I've seen a wet weekend be so boring.
So boring, yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody just got way too excited about, this being the first wet race of the season. And I mean, we had good expectations with what happened last year.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's start at the beginning. Friday, it was qualifying day on Friday.
Or else we should call it red flag day.
Yep, had more red flags than all my exes combined. Man.
No.
No, my exes had more. Anyways. But I don't think what was it with all the red flags. Like I distinctly remember 2 times where a red flag was not necessary and FIA just jumped the gun. It happened
one
once.
is with Magnussen and other one?
And other one happened in free practice. Towards the end, I think Bottas almost went into the wall but did not crash. And he just needed a little bit of time to like just maneuver out of there and like just join the track. But they red flagged the session. And unlike qualifying, practice time does not stop if the session is red flagged. So teams, when they already had very limited running time for free practice, they again lost like some good 3-4 minutes because the cars had to first return to the pit lane. Then they had to be like, okay, now you can go back again on track.
Also, have you been observing from season 2020, I guess, starting from Italy, starting from the Monza race or the Tuscan GP?
Yeah.
The number of red flags given per race weekend has massively gone up. Like until 2020 season, we saw red flags very rarely.
Yeah, I'm watching the older seasons, like the 2012 season. There's like I look at something happen in that race, and I'm like, that's definitely a red flag. But Sir Charlie is like, okay, you know what? Safety car is out. Marshals will do whatever it is that they're doing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying they're doing completely wrong, because from a safety standpoint, it's okay to have a red flag rather than to see a driver colliding into that whatever the incident car is on the side of the track. But aren't there too many red flags this weekend?
Yeah, apparently highest since the format has been introduced. This is what I read on Twitter. I don't know the validity of this, but apparently this is the highest number of red flags in a single qualifying sessions since the format of this knockout was introduced.
So there is a necessity to draw the line.
Yeah, especially with the K-Mag incident, right?
Exactly. Not me. I mean, K-Mag was way far away from, he was close to wall away from the track, and he was minding his own business, and
he did not crash. He did not crash.
Nothing happened to his car. Yeah.
Exactly. He did not crash. There was a lot of runoff area there. They jumped the gun and gave out the red flag. Magnussen was eventually able to maneuver his car out of the gravel and then join back on the track. But when similar thing happened with Bottas, when Bottas crashed, Bottas actually crashed. They waited until Max Verstappen could finish his lap, because on Max's onboard of that lap, I think F1 posted it on their Instagram. If you watch Max's onboard on that fastest lap that he set, you can actually see him cross Bottas
in the yellow, under the yellow flags.
Under the yellow flags. And like I've seen the telemetry data, so he did let go of the throttle.
He lifted off considerable amount.
He lifted off because his final, so he was up 1.1, but by the end of the lap he was up 0.7, so he lost a significant amount of time. My problem is that, see, with Magnussen's case, there was a huge runoff area, right? Bottas was right next to the track. It's not just about Max. There are other drivers behind him. Anybody can lose control. And Bottas, who is safely sitting in his car thinking that, okay, session will be red flag, but these people are not red flagging it because Max Verstappen is on a hot lap and some other driver loses control and hits Bottas. That should have been an immediate red flag. Does not matter who is doing what.
They waited until Max crossed the line and then they red flagged the session.
And that's so in one of the previous episodes when I said that they are trying to do anything to not upset the top four drivers and not give drastic decisions that affect the top four drivers, it's
evident.
You can see it. It's evident.
Your conspiracy theory is coming out true.
It's not even a conspiracy. They're doing it so blatantly. Like,
Agreed.
What universe can you define? Can you say that Magnussen going off the track was an immediate red flag? And Bottas literally crashing right next to the track wasn't.
No words.
Oh.
That's what the first thing that came to my mind when Bottas. So I saw the yellow in sector 3. It was in sector 3, right?
Yeah.
It was in sector 3, and Max was they showed Max was crossing sector 2, and I was like, okay, Max had to slow down. He will lose all the advantage, and most importantly, they'll red flag the session immediately, just like we saw what happened with Magnussen.
Exactly. I also thought the same thing.
They didn't somehow. Wow.
They did not. And Bottas was ahead of Max. So Bottas crashed pretty early on. That the fastest time of that third sector is a good 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So they waited 30 seconds to give out a red flag, which should have been an immediate red flag.
Yeah.
And for the Kevin Magnussen incident, they were like, oh, you know what? 30 milliseconds. They had a similar driver's reaction to K-Max.
Press the red button.
Oh my God. Like FIA, if you are at least, if you're doing this, if you don't want to do anything very drastic against the top four drivers, at least don't make it so obvious, man.
Don't make it so obvious. Yeah.
Like, oh my God. Before the start of this year, I wrote an article on like what my expectations are, like 5 things I was looking forward to for this season and 5 things that I am afraid that I don't want to happen, right? And one of the things was like similar stewarding standards that we saw in 2021. And I don't know if this is worse than that.
I remember that.
I don't know if this is like, is this good, bad, okay, at same level, worse?
No, this is definitely not good, because race after race, if not race after race, at least for one out of the 2 races, if FIA's decisions are being in the spotlight, then it's worrisome, to say the least.
Yeah, and what's worrisome is that, like the past couple of seasons, we've seen that FIA was not doing a good job of governing the races, but there's no action being taken against the race directors, right? There's no reason that they would not be continuing in their role as race directors. Like, they are going to be here this season. So, and I don't know, like now Max Verstappen is second in the World Driver Championship.
Yeah, it's bound to happen.
And there are going to be other people who may catch up to. Maybe Carlos Sainz also catches up one day, perhaps. I don't know. But what are they going to do if the title fight gets as close as it was last year? Like, how long before they start doing things that they're supposed to do? It's worrisome.
Not sure.
And again, you know what my biggest problem is, that this could, again, we could see there is a good chance. There is a very good chance that this could be Charles's first championship.
Exactly.
I don't want the same thing to happen to him what happened to Max.
Okay, please.
I don't want a championship to end in controversy. Nor do I want the season to go around like in controversy. Because, you know, we've not seen Red Bull do Red Bull things like they were doing last year. Because until this weekend, they were not even thinking about being championship contenders. Because of all the problems and the massive number of points that Max Verstappen has picked up on this weekend, and what happened with Charles and Sainz and just Ferrari's entire weekend in general. That's a massive advantage. Not only did Max got the maximum points that he could from this weekend, Charles did not get the second best, not at least in the race.
Yeah.
That's a huge concern.
It was a horrible weekend for Ferrari, to say the least. So
2-minute silence for Honey Badger's feelings. And if you don't hear me on the next episode, Honey Badger killed me.
I don't mind who takes the drivers' championship. I am more concerned about the constructor championship this season, and I want Ferrari to win it badly. I don't mind if Max or Perez or whoever takes the driver championship. I don't mind at all. But the constructor should be Ferraris.
Okay. I would want it to be Ferrari. I would want Charles to win his championship, but okay.
and Science weekends going one after the other into the dustbin. Okay. It is hurting me more.
Okay, there is definitely something wrong happening with Spanish drivers. Okay, this is some sort of a black magic. The same thing happened in Australia with Alonso and Carlos. They just had the shittiest lucks, and then similar thing happens with them in, like, where did we race? Imola.
For 2 weekends, it's been just Spain, not Spain.
Yeah.
Very bad.
Anyways, are we done talking about qualifying? Yeah, I don't.
Quali.
There was nothing happened in quali because it was all red flags. It was just red flags.
Hamilton scraping through Q1.
Oh yeah, 4,000ths of a second.
4,000ths of the second. Wow.
Oh my god. I mean,
crazy. That was crazy.
Mercedes. I don't know.
When I was watching
about it too much.
When I was watching the qualifying, I thought Hamilton's lap was done and dusted, and he's not going for another run of the lap. But somehow he was on the fast lap after that. After the session concluded, I mean, he crossed the line before 0, but I wasn't thinking that he was going for that lap.
Yeah, my biggest concern was also that. I think the reason he barely scraped by was because he started to cool down, but then Bono came on the radio and Bono was like, no, you can't. There is a chance you might get knocked out. And then he picked up the pace again.
Yeah, but given the Mercedes condition, Russell is looking the better driver out of at the moment. I am not saying Russell is the better driver than Hamilton, but at the moment it's looking like that.
Yeah, Russell is clearly able to adjust to the car much better.
Because he has been driving shit boxes from last 3 years, right?
Maybe, but I mean, this is again my theory that most of the drivers who have driven longer in the turbo hybrid era are finding it a little bit difficult to get used to these cars. Not all of them, but most of them.
Could be.
Yeah, because
anything else on qualifying?
All these no. What I was saying was all these young chaps, they've just driven these cars for like a couple of years, and I'm more speaking about the people who were racing way before turbo hybrid. So like Alonso, Vettel, Hamilton. Although Vettel and Alonso are pretty much on point.
Vettel had a very strong weekend.
Yeah, I mean, but if I compare him to Stroll is just shit. So it's not
I told you, remember, if there was a rain during the race. he would finish top 5.
Yeah, for Vettel's sake, I was hoping that it rains more because I think he would have made up more places.
Many people don't acknowledge, but he's a very good driver in wet conditions.
Yes, as I will see on 9th of May in Brazil 2012.
Yeah. Even his first win came under wet conditions in Toro Rosso 2008.
Toro Rosso 2008.
Monza, his first win.
Oh, okay. Monza always gives crazy winners, man. I am starting to fall in love with Monza. Nothing else in qualifying. Latifi spun, but nothing new in that.
Latifi spun,
Albon's brakes were on fire, but
brakes.
Yeah,
that's it. And who was the one caused the red flag in the last run?
Norris.
Norris.
Norris was the one who caused. Again, I don't
think. Did he crash?
No, again, that's my point. I don't think it was a red flag.
I remember. Yes. It wasn't red flag situation.
Yeah, he could have driven out, but when he got to know that it was a red flag, he jumped out of the car. He was like, "Acha, theek hai, abhi to what can we do?"
Qualifying.
Yeah. So
do we move on to sprint then?
Do we have to? Like, this episode is also going to feel as long as the weekend was. Not in a good way. Like, can you imagine somebody cribbing about the fact that the weekend felt so long? Oh my god.
We are so tired of being tired of watching the boring race.
Yeah, I mean, nothing happened in sprint. There were just DRS trains forming, and yeah, that was it.
But last 5 laps were good. That Max and Charles battle, little bit fun.
Yeah, but I mean, it was more because like we saw it coming because Ferrari tires, Charles's tires were going off. So
Sainz finished P4, right?
Yeah.
P10 to P4. Yeah, that was a good recovery.
I mean, the fastest car on track.
Exactly.
Made up positions. That. I would have been more surprised if he didn't. And same with Checo. And that's the reason why I was like, this sprint was so boring, because the only people who actually gained advantage were the people who had the fastest car but were not able to set a good qualifying lap.
Yeah.
So was that fun? Like, how thrilled would you have been had the qualifying starting grid started the race?
Qualifying starting grid started the race. No.
Because
Sainz was beaten.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have liked that.
Maybe he would have at least finished the race.
Oh, okay. If you say so, yes.
But, okay. And again, I'm going to repeat myself. Sprints are good on tracks where it's easy to overtake. Like, if the outcome of the sprint race is going to affect the starting of the race, like the grid position on the race, I think it should always be on a track where every team has the option to gain an advantage. Okay,
what are 3 top choices for sprints according to you?
Well, I mean, if I'm being very honest, I don't think I've seen any track where, I can confidently say there's a lot more overtaking than some other tracks.
Okay.
So, I mean, Brazil is okay. Okay. I will have to see what other tracks we have. I don't know. Like, why is this my job? FIA, do your job right. I don't know. Baku?
No.
Okay.
I don't think Baku will have a good sprint. I would say Bahrain, Spa, and Monza.
Yeah, much better lineup than what we have. Even this time we have Austria, right?
Austria also. Yeah.
Good track.
Good track for sprint.
Yeah. But yeah, exactly. We need faster tracks, because what we saw in this, the outcome of the sprint was anybody who was in a fast car who fucked up in qualifying basically came to the position that they would have been expected to start at. That's what happened.
Yeah.
The end of sprint was the top 4 were Red Bull, Ferrari, Red Bull, Ferrari. Yeah. Ferrari. Don't worry. So, or else, you know what? I was thinking that why can't they have what F2 does? Have a sprint race. But do whatever you want to do for the grid, but like, just don't. So the qualifying, the order, the classification of qualifying, start the race, and then you reverse the grid. If you want to do top 8, do top 8. If you want to do like a full reverse, do a full reverse, whatever. Have the sprint race, give the sprint winners and like whatever points they decide, and then okay, cool, that's it. I was thinking like have 1 to 10 reverse and then 11 to 20 also reverse. So like the driver who qualified first starts with 10th.
Got it. Who
The
qualified
driver
11th will start 20th.
Yeah.
This is also a good idea.
Yeah. If you're going, like, if it affects the outcome, if it affects the starting grid of the race, I understand then why drivers are not a big fans, or even fans are not a big fans of sprint weekend, because all of us have our loyalties to some team or other. And it's always like in sprint, not everybody has the advantage, especially on a track like Imola.
Exactly.
It was just like 4 or 5 drivers stuck in a train. That was it.
Okay, what if FIA takes around the overtake data for every circuit and conducts sprint races in the top three circuits which have the highest average overtakes? That makes sense.
Yeah, FIA, I am willing to do that analysis for you if you give me the data and pay me. I will happily do that and make recommendations.
I think also.
Yeah, I mean, no, don't. If you're good at something, never do it for free. But
okay, why are you doing this podcast then?
I don't think I'm good at it. We said it off the top of our head. You said it. You said the 3 tracks, right?
Yeah.
It's not that difficult to come up with good tracks to have sprint on.
But like, why are they holding back from, sit down and analyze which track is better? I mean, what is the thought process going on into this whole thing?
I think
the deciding of what tracks?
I think it is driven by money. Or I think with them doing this, only having 3 sprint weekends every season, maybe this is how they're collecting data, which is a stupid way to do it. Because you literally have years and years of data available of where is it easier to overtake, despite the fact that, in the era before this, it was not that easy for drivers to follow each other because of the dirty air and whatnot. But we still saw overtakes, we still saw good racing. So you would be able to have a fair idea as to which tracks are more suited for overtakes and which tracks are not. I mean, you would not have a sprint race in Monaco, right? You should not even have a race weekend in Monaco.
Dude, sprint race in Monaco would be fun.
If a sprint race happens in Monaco, I am not. Literally, you can literally shut down the TV once all the mandatory pit stops are over, and once it feels like, nobody's going to make any more pit stops, you can literally shut down the TV, because that's going to be the final classification.
During the race, right? You're saying?
Yeah, during the race, of course, during the race.
Sprint, whatever is the classification from qualifying, it will only be
it's going to be the same unless somebody puts it in the wall. It's going to be the same. Yeah. So FIA, pick better tracks. Please, for the love of God, pick
only
better
if FIA
tracks.
is listening to this.
You know what I think? I think they should just let fans make decisions. You know what, FIA? Yes. If you don't want to make decisions, start a poll. Still a better poll than driver of the day. Any day, a better poll than driver of the day.
Exactly.
Do your research like that. Give the fans what they want.
So fans are who bring the money to the sport, right? Yeah. Obviously, if there are no fans or if there are no followers, you don't have money, right?
Yeah, of course. Who's going to sponsor?
How hard is it to put up a poll like that?
It's not. That's what I'm saying. It's not.
In fact, you'll have the support from fans also. Fans love you actually. If FIA is ever going to decide to do this.
Yeah, if they are open to listen to it, there are going to be a lot of good ideas that they can get. You know what they could do? Just create a simple conjoint analysis or form different 3-track groups of which 3-track combination is the best to have sprint races on, and like just float the form. There are enough, get people like Nico Rosberg, who hosts a F1 podcast. Like there are so many people, like send it to Will Buxton's followers or Chris Medland's followers or Jeannie Gau's followers. Like there are literally so many people who can help you reach the fan. We just tweet it out. Like people would be happy to help you out, and like just if they know that, FI is listening to them, they'll obviously where there is a will, there is a way. There is no will. That
There
is
is
the
no
problem.
will. There is only money.
Yeah, I think right now they are like just seeing where there is a problem in getting good public, and that's how is that how they are deciding? Because it does not make sense, because Italy Tifosi is going to come.
Obviously.
Like they are going to come, and Australia Orange Army is going to come. Like, I don't understand. It doesn't make sense.
Hey, do we have a Netherlands race this season?
Yes, unfortunately. Oh, that track is shit.
No. Yeah, even
Oh.
I'm not a fan of the track.
Yeah, I mean, I am a noob, but this is a seasoned F1 fan saying that track is shit.
Not a fan of the track. I mean, in the game it looks nice and all, but nah.
Yeah, game it's fun. Game I get irritated because like I think the graphics also show like a lot of Orange Army, and I'm like, "Arey, fuck this! I don't want to drive for this crowd." So I don't play it in the game also, but.
Oh, this hurts you on a so personal level. Okay. Imagine driving around for the virtual crowd and still hating it.
Yeah, because it's the Orange Army. Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yes. There is a pattern of hating orange in my life. I don't know why. So yeah, that was my sprint rant.
Good weekend for Orange, actually.
Yeah. So good action on the last 5 laps of the sprint. And by action, I mean that one overtake that Max Verstappen did and then went on to win the race. I literally had to force myself to stay awake during that race.
Yeah. So after watching the qualifying also, we were discussing, right? Days wasted. All the hype is wasted.
Yeah. I actually wanted to record a mini episode, but everybody was so upset with how that qualifying ended that we were like, nah.
That was the worst qualifying session I have watched recently. I cannot recall any other bad ones in the recent times.
Yeah.
Are we coming to the race?
Yes, please.
First talking point, first lap, first corner, incident between Daniel and Carlos.
Oh man,
Thoughts?
I was so sad. So sad. I don't know what made Daniel bump into Carlos. Like, because that first contact was because either Daniel lost control or he just decided to move. But then once Carlos spinned, Ricardo tried to get out of his way, but Bottas came behind him, pushed him into Carlos's car, and Carlos was deep in the gravel pit, but Ricardo was able to get out.
So my thing is, out of the two, Carlos and Daniel, I love Daniel and Vettel on the current grid.
Yeah.
The moment, so I am completely invested all my emotions. I've completely invested all my emotions this year into Ferrari winning the World Constructor Championship.
Yeah.
I was so invested in that narrative that when I see Ricardo bumping into Carlos, I was like, "Kya chutiya hai kya?" I've gone to that extent, abusing my favorite driver.
Yeah.
2 to 3 minutes, I was furious with Ricardo until I saw the replays.
Yeah.
Even after I saw the replays also, I wasn't convinced because Sainz left a lot of room on the left.
Yeah.
There was no absolute reason to for Ricardo to turn into Sainz like that. And I don't know why he said I got pushed. I think he meant
the
Bottas thing, but not sure exactly.
Yeah. Because if it was just the first contact and had Bottas not pushed, Carlos would have lost places, but I think he would have been able to rejoin the race. When that extra push happened with the Daniel's car,
I honestly thought Carlos wouldn't retire because, yes, he was trapped in the gravel, but his car wasn't damaged, I guess.
Yeah, it was barely a touch. Yeah. There was no damage. It was just because he couldn't get out of the gravel pit.
Okay.
I don't think there was any damage.
But I think they were facing each other and they had a contact on the front wings.
Yeah, they did.
But
I don't
there
think
wasn't any visible
Danny
damage
Rick,
on the.
yeah. There wasn't any damage. Even when Danny Rick went for his pit stop, I don't think he changed his front wing. There wasn't any damage.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, like Daniel's race also got ruined. Carlos also retired. Like it was just the worst,
the worst
start to the race, and like it's just two drivers that I like, and I mean I like Daniel Ricciardo more than I like Carlos, but I was like, oh, why Danny Rick? Why would you do this, Danny Rick?
Exactly, that was the same thing running through my mind at that point. And to add to my worries, Charles had dropped to P4.
Yeah, Charles actually had a very bad start.
Yeah.
I was too caught up in the Carlos Daniel Ricciardo thing to even realize that Charles was P4. My emotions were in overdrive because of that. But after that, there was nothing to do. So yeah, then I was like, oh, Charles is in P4.
So when this Carlos and Daniel incident happened, there was one Haas spun around in the same corner.
That was Mick. Yeah.
Okay. Any camera angles on that? Because I didn't know someone hit him or he spun by himself.
I don't remember. I was more concentrating on Carlos and Daniel Ricciardo. So
they never showed it anyway.
They showed it just the once.
Okay.
And then there were like they're just showing like just starts from multiple driver on boards and everything, and I'm like, okay, sure.
Oh, you want to rant about the camera angles? So the broadcasting, Vettel overtaking Mick.
Yeah,
Mick
man.
overtaking Vettel.
Mick overtaking Vettel. Hey, Sky Sport. When there is live action going on, why the fuck are you showing replays? I don't want to see everything in replay. If I wanted to see everything in replay, I would not watch the race live.
Oh man, that was a battle going on for P8 or P8 only, no?
Yeah, but I mean, like, I don't want to find out through the time tower on the left hand side of the screen that an overtake has happened. Why are you showing replays?
Oh no.
Would have lost my shit if it was Stroll.
And even here also, so in the race also, Leclerc was closing in on Perez after coming with the softs. No.
Yeah.
After coming with the softs I think after coming with the softs only, he was closing in on Perez, but broadcasters somehow were showing the DRS train. Hamilton trying to overtake Gasly.
Yeah, nothing's gonna happen there because it's a shit track. Stop showing us things when nothing is happening.
Yep.
Dude, we have to do everything. We have to decide all the tracks where sprint can happen. We have to decide FIA how to give out red flags. We have to decide what to show on. Like, who the fuck is getting paid? Why? It's just...
Guys, please. We are doing it for free. Please make this reach to FIA.
Yeah, we'll decide.
Share it if you care for this.
We will do the entire, let's ask fans, polls and everything. We will do everything. Let FIA know that we are interested.
Yes.
I
wonder why WTF1 doesn't do this.
WTF1 did a poll of which tracks should stay on calendar and which should go. I voted on that. But I mean, I can start doing a poll today, but it's not going to make a difference unless the FIA wants to do it.
It doesn't make a difference because we don't have that many followers also. So
I mean, I'm a Team WTF1 member, so I can get fans.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, but yeah. Hey, listeners, spread word. We can do good work, but we need followers.
If you care about this thing, please do share it.
I love how we pander.
I have a beautiful plug coming in, so let's go on to the next topic.
What is the next topic?
What do we talk about in the race?
What was there? I mean, like after the safety car ended, everybody started like there was a lot of dialogue going on whether they should pit for inters, how long they could stay out on those set of inters, and then
for some time there was a discussion going on between Crofty and Anthony Davidson or somebody about
I think it was
DRS.
Paul Di Resta.
Paul Di Resta, yeah. About DRS not being enabled.
Oh my god, why
frustrating.
why on a track with just one DRS You don't enable the DRS. Oh my god.
The track was dry, more than dry enough at that point of time.
Yeah. Oh man. It's I don't understand the logic for not enabling DRS.
It was like for 7 or 8 laps, no? After taking slicks.
Yeah.
After 7 or 8 laps, they took the DRS. They have enabled the DRS. Just bad.
Anyways, what else happened in the race?
What do you have on your list?
The DRS trains. I mean, what can we say about that DRS train? Like Hamilton not being able to pass Gasly for
20-25 laps.
Yeah. I mean, oh man. What, like, I don't even have anything to say. Like it's just, this is not a good track. This is not a good track for overtakes. And this is not, and then you don't even enable DRS for like at least some good 6-7 laps. So what are people going to do? And it is very clearly obvious that, you know, cars can follow each other much more easily, and also that most cars are at par with each other with the exception of Ferrari and Red Bull. So we had these long as DRS trains forming behind one shitty driver, which was Stroll. I mean, of course, trust Stroll to ruin everything. Everything good about my weekend gets destroyed because of Stroll. Either he crashes or he holds up like the entire fucking. Oh my god.
We didn't have a Latifi crash this weekend. That's why it is so boring, I guess.
Oh yeah, of course Latifi did not crash. Max was leading. What are you saying, man? He's the wingman. He's the wingman.
Got it.
He's the OG wingman.
That makes sense.
Of course.
Whenever Latifi crashed, it's a ominous observation, but whenever Latifi crashed, we had a pretty amazing weekend.
Yeah. But now I kind of want to like go back and see, had this happened every time? Like at least last year, I want to see every time that Latifi crashed, was that a race where Max won? Because the chances are higher, because Max won a lot of races last year and Latifi crashes left, right and center. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But he wasn't that bad last year. I don't know what has gotten into him. Like he wasn't that bad.
He wasn't that bad, yeah.
Yeah. So Hamilton not being able to pass Gasly, and then Max Verstappen obviously lapped Hamilton.
I am surprised that Red Bull didn't put up a pic saying that you'll have to see that.
Oh, I mean, they are definitely going to do worse things in the 2 weeks before Miami, like in the week before Miami. I'm sure. See, the journalists are going to poke at it. They are going to ask those questions, and then like Red Bull is going to do Red Bull things. So, I mean, so.
But Mercedes, I mean, although Russell finished P4, finished P4, right?
Yeah.
If not for that Bottas pit lane that pit error, Bottas would have finished P4.
Yeah.
Would have been crazy. I mean, I thought Bottas would, when I'm seeing the race, so last 5 laps, I thought Bottas would completely send it and overtake Russell.
Yeah, I also thought that.
But good defending.
Yeah, proud of George. I think George is doing a
exceptional job at Mercedes, I would say.
Yeah. While Mercedes sorts out their problems and Hamilton gets, I don't understand Hamilton's, like, what is happening with him, because it's not just about, so Russell started P11 and ended up in 6th before the safety car in lap 1 happened. He gained 5 positions in those first couple of corners. Whereas Hamilton was at the same position where he finished the race in the same position where he started. So,
although it's convenient for me to say that Hamilton doesn't know how to drive a shit car and he's not worthy of that 7 world championships, I just wanted to say that it's not his day today.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, we have seen Hamilton do wonder things in when the car is not good. But today it's just off for some reason. I don't know why, but seeing Russell performing like that in the same machinery, giving us some doubts on how Hamilton is mentally.
Yeah, I think a lot is to do with the car performance, but I think Hamilton is just not in a good place mentally. Yeah, I would agree.
Before the start of the season, he gave a statement. You thought that was the best performance in my career last year. So you'll see me this season.
Yeah. Now in hindsight, I think it was just a facade that he was putting on with respect to like everything that happened last year and the heartbreak and the disappointment and the disbelief, frankly. I think he was just putting up a facade because, I mean, he had to come back, right? He had to come back.
I've been seeing these comments like, so all these way, it's just the car and everything. But I would want to say it's the car and the driver together. But it's like 60% car and 40% driver.
Yeah, it's like it's like our boy Mick Schumacher said, no? If you can have the right car, but if you do the wrong things, you're not going to get the maximum out of the car. Like, you're not going to put in a good performance. So
exactly. Yes, that Mercedes was overpowered, but he was there to expect all that power from that car, unlike Bottas.
Yeah, I think at least like with George, the thing is that while Hamilton is not where he usually operates, Mercedes can still say that they are like, at least they're what, like second. I think they might have now become third in the championship, like the constructor championship, because Red Bull got so many points this weekend, man. Oh fuck, it's irritating. But yeah, they're still in that contention at least. Like they can finish as high, although I'm not sure if they want to. They get more wind tunnel time if they finish third.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of focus for Mercedes this year is going to be to understand the car and come back stronger next year. I think so. I mean, of course, if they can get the car right, of course, it's not like they would not try to fight for the championship, but I think largely they want to understand their car this year.
Okay, let's say they have done the car right in a couple of races, in the next couple of races.
Yeah.
Who would you like them to prioritize, Russell or Hamilton?
It's a tough question. Based on what I've seen till now, I mean, Russell is the obvious choice. He's obviously in a much more closer position to compete with or challenge even Charles and like Max, right? Because he's I think third right now in the drivers' championship, third or fourth.
I guess so.
Right? So
Yeah.
If let's say Spain is where they're supposed to be bringing their upgrades and everything, I don't know how good the Miami track is and how good it is going to be for overtaking. So I mean, logically it makes sense for them to support Russell. Although I am pretty certain Hamilton will retire after he takes that eighth.
He will.
Yeah, so I'm like, just let him win and let him go away. I'm just tired of people shit talking Hamilton. I have nothing against the guy. I don't want Hamilton to retire. I know he's going to retire after he completes 8 championships. I'm like, just do it this year and go do your thing, man. Buy Chelsea, do whatever, do your music, do your fashion, do anything you want. Like just get out of this place. Like I'm just tired of people shit talking about him, man.
Yeah, and not realizing it's just 4 races that has been off, and mostly because of the car. People are bashing him way too much.
Yeah, I mean, they don't realize that Hamilton could not attack Perez because his engine was overheating in Australia. He could have gone for the second, but it's a long game. It's a long game. You have 23 races. You have 3 engines. You can't risk losing your first engine in the third race.
Fair.
So, yeah, I mean, he got lucky in Bahrain. He was unfortunately not lucky in Saudi. Still ended up getting 1 point. Then what? Australia was goodish. They maximized on what they could. And this was unfortunate. This was, I think he had the pace. I think it would not have been a drive like we saw in Brazil last year, but he could have gotten to a decent place in points. But it's such a shitty track to overtake.
Yep, exactly.
There were barely any overtakes happening. Oh, it hurts me to say that. Like, even after Charles crashed and then he pitted and then he came out 8th, eventually finished 6th. You know why he was able to do it? Because that Ferrari is clearly the fastest car on the track.
Yeah. You need to have faster cars around circuits like this.
Yeah, I mean, that is the only advantage you can get. Especially in a train also. I think if it was Charles who was stuck behind Gasly, would not have taken him that long. He would not even have needed the DRS. He's so close. I mean,
after Charles came out the pit, he dropped behind Norris.
Yeah.
He let Norris go. He was weaving and getting the temps up at a point. And
then got him in the next lap. Got him in the next lap.
Next lap, next DRS. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. With fresher tires and faster car, always possible. Yeah.
If Mercedes does get it right, support Lewis to win his 8th, and then let him happily retire. Bring Ocon or De Vries, whoever you want to bring, a new driver, and then I can't imagine, man. I think it must be hard for him. I know he keeps this facade on, but I think last year was a blatant show of how much people wanted to see him not succeed. There's nothing. What else is McLaren had a good day. Lando Norris had a good day. Very good
Lando
day.
Had a good day. Vettel had a good day.
Vettel had a very good day. Vettel finished 8th.
He was smiling. He was smiling wide after the race.
Yeah, especially because he is like first points for Aston Martin.
Both the Astons in the points actually.
Yeah. And Vettel beat Stroll. Yes, as it should be. Yes.
And what else do we talk about? Charles DNF. No, not DNF. Sorry.
Not DNF.
Crash.
He pushed too hard. That was a mistake that he made. Like, I mean,
I just want to say, just like how we push the podcast, how we record the podcast, how we release the episodes too much with the speed. He was carrying too much speed over the curb.
Yeah.
He was carrying too much speed over the curb.
It was heartbreaking. But what I would say is that good recovery from him. Like, he spun back around, he pitted, he was like, I'm not going to DNF. Like, good damage control.
Yeah. I mean,
but also, like, the crash was mild.
I am glad that it didn't damage the car.
Yeah, at least he was able to continue and finish the race. And I mean, it's you're going to hate me for saying this, but like, at least the lead has come down. Like, now there's still a chance that it can be a closer championship battle.
It can be, yeah.
And so, yeah,
it's a matter of couple of DNFs, that's it.
Yeah, but I'm glad. Like, when that happened, I was like, oh my God, Honey Badger is going to kill me. He's going to kill me. I said it in the last episode.
I was fairly disappointed when Sainz had a DNF in the first lap. So after that, anything is okay. Got it. Okay. No points this weekend. I don't mind it. How many points did Ferrari have this weekend? 6th position, right? 6th position means 10 points.
6th position means 8 points.
8 points. Okay.
So
8 and sprint.
Sprint, they had like P2 and P4. So 7 and 5. So 12 plus 8 is 20 points this weekend in total for Ferrari. They must be then 124 in Constructors' Championship, I think, somewhere around that.
Considering the fact that we had a DNF, it's a pretty decent weekend, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, Charles is still leading the Drivers' Championship. Ferrari is still leading the Constructors' Championship. So
Hmm.
I think what's hurting Ferrari right now is that the second driver is just having the shittiest weekends. It was a loss in Aussie, and then it was a loss here.
It's like a 2018 Ricardo situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, on unsafe release. Got a 5-second time penalty for it. I don't think he served it. It was added to his time later.
Yeah. But it was a deserved penalty. So
Yeah, deserved penalty. And it got crowded in that pit lane when that unsafe release happened.
who was ahead of Ocon at that point?
I think it was either Bottas or Magnussen. I'm not sure.
Okay.
No. No, Magnussen was not that far. I don't know. Could have been Albon also. I don't want to remember this race. And like literally, I was having trouble staying awake. Like for the first time watching the race felt like a waste of time.
Understandable.
Yeah, and this
Yeah,
is
but
coming from a person who's watching ancient races. I think it should have just rained. Should have just in the middle of the race, should have just started raining like it happened in Russia last year, where Nikita Mazepin had a redemption. But
redemption.
like even
Nothing
the
else.
F2 race was boring. Like the main race.
Hmm.
How is their strategy for pitting that we are just going to wait and hope for a safety car?
On a wet track, it's normally a
It
thing,
wasn't
right?
wet. They all
Oh, it
started
wasn't
on
wet.
super softs. They all
Super softs.
Yes, F2 they all started on super softs. Then there was an incident in the first lap. There was a safety car. Half the grid pitted for the mediums. I think one lap before the safety car was ending, they pitted for the mediums, and people who decided to stay out stayed out. Jehan Daruwara was leading, and by the time they decided to pit him and let him come out of the pits, he just didn't have enough time to like have a recovery drive. Like he could not have. Like they should have pitted him somewhere around 18-20th lap. They should have pitted him that time. Like I think they pitted him in lap 26 or 27, and it was a 35 lap race. And I think had he pitted between 17 18th lap around that time, after that there was a virtual safety car, and then I mean eventually the race ended behind a safety car. But I mean Jehan did not. He had the pace. Like he had crazy pace. He was making up 1.5-2 seconds every lap, but he was some 15-16 seconds behind the car ahead of him.
Okay.
So frustrating. And again, the same thing, DRS trains forming, like nobody is able to get past anybody. I counted, there were literally 5 or 6 overtakes in the entire race. That's a boring race. That's a Monaco standard race.
Who won it? Porcher won it, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
This is the bad weekend to start watching F2, but
okay, I forgot to ask. You're saying about super softs, right? Are they using 2018 specifications again?
I don't know. You're the F2 expert.
No, not the F2 one. I'm talking about. So in 2018 F1 season, we had now we have like soft, medium, hard, and wet compounds. Only 4, right?
Yeah.
But we used to have in 2018 like
super softs and everything. Like back in the day also. I mean that's what I heard the commentators say.
Okay.
And while we are at it, commentators, he's not Daruwala, he's Daruwala.
Daruwala.
Right? If you can say that last sound, just replace it everywhere. Daruwala. They're calling him Daruwala.
This is your first time watching the F2 race, right?
Oh my god, it pissed me off so much. Every time they would talk about it, I was like, you know what, don't tell me anything about him. I can see it. You're showing the interval. I see where he is on the track. Don't talk about him, because it's Dhruvala. He's not Dhruvala. He's Daruvala.
They don't call him even Jahan. They'll call him Dhruvala. That's it.
Oh my god.
They could have called him Jahan nicely.
No, I mean, white people, British commentators, like it's not that difficult to ask somebody how to pronounce your name properly.
You'll
And
get used to it. No, don't
no
worry.
wonder Zoe said that. Zoe himself was like, you know what, guys, you won't be able to do it. Just call me Joe. I'm okay being Joe. Don't butcher my name on international television. Just call me Joe.
Yeah.
Let's come to predictions and put an end to this long night.
Oh, wow. Kramer comes with a killer comment saying we missed racing.
Predictions. So Kramer predicted. So he predicted Max, Charles, and Perez. He said fastest lap to Perez. And then he said one Mercedes DNF, Latifi finishes above P13 and only one Alpine in points. And unfortunately, only the Max prediction is right. So
who had the fastest lap?
Max. Max got the fastest lap.
Oh, okay.
So Kramer gets 2 points. Shakuni predicted Sainz, Charles, Hamilton.
Wow.
And fastest lap to Sainz, sorry. But all his general predictions are right. He said Alonso out of points. He said first points for Aston Martin. And he said Norris in top 5.
Nice.
All correct. So Honey Badger, you said Sainz, Perez, Charles. So Perez 2 points. Then fastest lap to Sainz, and that did not happen. And then your general predictions were at least one Haas in top 8 in sprint. So yes. Magnussen finished in 8th. At least 2 DNFs in main race. You are so lucky. It was exact 2. And then you also said Norris in top 5 in main race. So 3 points there. So a total of 5 points. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Okay. My predictions were Charles, Sainz, and Norris. So I got 2 points for Norris. And then fastest lap to Charles. That did not happen. Then I said the most generic predictions ever made in the history of this podcast. I said at least 2 non-Mercedes customers DNF, Alonso and Sainz. I said double podium for one team. And then I said McLaren scores more points than Alpine, which also happened. So 5 points for me as well. Yay!
Good weekend for all.
I mean, prediction league wise, yes. Overall, nah.
No.
Nah. The next race is Miami.
And we have no idea how the track is and how the drivers are going to perform there. We don't have any data. So it's a weird thing right now.
It's going to be a very important practice sessions for sure. From what I could see, like from the various videos being shared about the track and everything, like the track is wide enough that overtaking is possible. I don't know how feasible it will actually be. Like, I mean, we'll find out when we actually go there. So,
okay.
Thank you, everybody. That was our Imola GP race rant. That wasn't a review. Our review is, it sucks. Thank you, everybody, for listening to this episode. Thank you, guys, for joining. If you like the episode, please subscribe, share with your friends. Follow us on our socials. We want to do good work, but we don't have any followers, so nobody takes us seriously. If you have any feedback for us, if you want us to cover anything on the podcast, or if you want to be a part of the podcast, overthecuppodcast@gmail.com. You can also reach out to us on our Instagram handle @overthecuppodcast and on our Twitter @overthecuppod. Until Miami.
Next weekend, Miami.
Miami.
Until then.
Bye-bye.
Bye.